And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake. Hope you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have another round of Friday channel reviews. This is brought to you by our good friends over at oneof10.com, the best YouTube app in the land, helping you with outlier video ideas and topics, great title and thumbnail generation, and you can go ahead and get that with discount code Roberto at checkout for 20% off for the lifetime of your account, or you can use my link in the description down below. Thanks to our friends at One of 10 for sponsoring these channel review streams. So today we're going to do up to 5 potential channel reviews. We're not going to use our usual 10 tonight because it's a later Friday night. I am traveling. I am at PodFest. I was a speaker. I did two keynote sessions. So we're just powering through this with the first stream of 2026 from the road. But we do have a good mic setup. I hope the heat and air conditioning is not too loud for you guys. So I hope the audio is coming in. Mods and people in the chat, how's the audio coming in? Is the audio coming in good? Are we okay? Are you guys hearing too much from the air conditioning? What's going on? Let me know. Sound is good? Okay, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that the sound is good. Trying to at least make sure the visuals are good. I've got my mobile setup. I've got 2. I had 3, but one of them is not powered up. I have 3 of these Elgato Keylight minis. But I'm using 2 of them right now, so it should be good. You're probably seeing the glare in my glasses on them, but it's not bad for a mobile setup. I'm using my Sony A7 Mark IV with a 50mm lens right now, hooked up. Got all this connected through StreamYard, so we're doing that. So I'd say it looks and sounds hopefully pretty good, We're using the Shure V6 microphone that I always recommend to you guys when you're trying to do USB-C streaming and you don't have a Rodecaster with you, any of that. So, that's what we got going on now. Unfortunately, I don't have a multicam setup for this one, so we have to make do with what we have. But I think it's actually pretty decent. So, we've got that going on. We're going to queue up channels. We have the mods on standby with the form. We've got that up. So when you guys have those super chats coming in, we will do the super chat channel reviews. We've got the screen up here ready and raring to go for those. So we have that with my secondary monitor. I have like this really decent, $50 portable monitor with me. Just gonna make sure these tabs are muted so that we don't have interference. And it's pretty good. It's a Vizio, I think, or something like that. No, it's a Vilva. It's a Vilva $60 portable second screen, all USB Type-C. So again, pretty good. Can I bump up the brightness? Yeah, I can. So I've got a second screen here set up for the channel reviews once those come in. We've got StreamYard running. Excuse me. So we got that set up, and we do have it to where we can go full screen when we need to. I have that here somewhere. Yep. And I can take away the chat. So yeah, we've got all the things. So yeah, we're ready to go whenever those super chats come in. In the meantime, while we're waiting on those super chats, just say hi to everybody here that we've got. See Doug Houston holding it down for the mods. We've got Design Rescue. We got Matt Miller's PCs in the house. We got Miami Cloud. How are you? Good to see you here, my friend. Yeah, portable monitors are clutch. Yeah, for sure. And I've got my energy, yeah. And if we don't end up with any requests for channel reviews, oh wait, we just got 2 requests for channel reviews. Never mind. I was going to say, we'll figure it out, but we got 2 channel review requests, so we'll get those into the contact form here, so that the mods get the link to your channel. They'll collect the stats, and we'll be doing that. So Grasses Green Bistro, thank you for the 19.99 super chat. Can I get a review? And you're my mentor in a big way. Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Podfest has been amazing. And I had 2 sessions here. Unfortunately, my friend Pat Flynn, you guys know from Deep Pocket Monster and Smart Passive Income Podcast, fortunately, his wife was sick, so he was going to come and he was going to do a big keynote here, but his wife was sick, so he stayed home to take care of her. So good on him, great husband. And he did his keynote though virtually, but he was going to be here in person, so that was going to be great. I always love seeing Pat. Dave Ramsey inducted someone into the Podcast Hall of Fame posthumously. I didn't get to meet Dave Ramsey. I probably won't see him tomorrow either. I think he took off already. But it was just cool that he came to this event here in Orlando, Florida, and inducted someone who passed away into the Podcast Hall of Fame. So very cool of Dave Ramsey, super humble guy. So I wish I'd gotten to meet him, but maybe some other time. Someone here probably can connect me with him. So yeah. We've got channel review from by Tyler White. All right, excellent. And then we have Trintendo. Got a review from you when I only had 4 videos a year ago and wanted to follow up a review. Okay, great. Yeah, so we'll do that. So that's 3. So it looks like we got 2 more slots tonight. And I think 5 is all we can manage tonight once the mods get everything loaded up, because it's super late out here. I did a keynote earlier around 4 o'clock. So I did that from about 4 to 5 with the Q&A. I filmed it all. We're going to be cutting that up into YouTube Shorts and putting that up for people. Members are going to probably get a full unedited version of my talk. If the Q&A sessions did come out good, then I'll post those as shorts as well. Because we had some people who lined up to talk to me. If those come out good, we'll clip those up with Opus Clip, and we'll do that. Tomorrow, I will be using this setup once again for the Opus Clip live stream on their YouTube channel. So you guys want to definitely check that out. Hey, Roberto, I started vertical live streaming in general because of you. I would love a channel review to know how I'm doing. Okay, great. So we got that for made by 4NT. Appreciate you. Doug Hewson. Neo Moses request. Do we have that one in the form? Or did you send in a super chat? Do we know about that? The mods are filling out the form. So far I see 4 super chats. Moses, did you send in a super chat that we don't know about or something? Because we have it set for auto starring the super chats, and I think it would have still picked them up if you did it earlier. So I don't know about that. I don't know if the mods can check in on something with that. You've been begging your girl for this one for weeks. Well, I'm glad we could take care of that. So yeah, looks like you're number 1 in the queue there. So yeah, it looks like we've got 4 of our 5 super chats lined up. I don't think we're going to do more than Man of the Word, channel review from Coffee Talk. Right. By the way, can you send me the link to that channel again, Ryan? Appreciate you. Ryan, if you could send me the link to that one from Coffee Talk, and then we'll make that number 5 tonight. So we'll get those in. Appreciate you. Yeah, first channel review stream of the year. Yeah. I'm almost out of Starbucks coffee. This is my calories for today. probably gonna have to do a workout even before I go to bed just to work off this bloody coffee. I'm gonna switch over to water for a while, but this is to get me through tonight's channel reviews, just because it's been it's almost 10 o'clock already, and it's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. The plan was only to do one keynote. I ended up doing two. Someone other than Pat ended up calling out sick. I filled in for them. So I did a keynote on how creators can use AI to be more human. Interestingly enough, it was a twist. And I had skeptics, but I convinced people by the end, because there's ways to do it. Channel reviews are closed. We have all 5. Ryan, I just need you to get me the handle or the link for the channel that we're reviewing from Coffee Talk that you just paid for. And yeah, I think we've got the handle for you, Greener Bistro, for your actual channel. I think we do. The mods should be taking care of that and finding the link for your channel. So counting on them for that for the form. That's why we haven't started yet, is I'm just counting on the mods to get the, which in this case, it's mostly Doug holding it down tonight. He's the only one available out of the mod squad tonight. Appreciate you, Doug. I know you're working hard on this. And then Doug will have his Freighter Breakfast stream tomorrow. So make sure you guys are also checking out our favorite mod squad members like Doug Hewson holding it down for us tonight. So again, Doug, I know you're working hard on the form and hunting down the channels. So we just want to let you know we appreciate you doing that and filling out all the stats, getting the timestamps for me, just doing all the things, man. Appreciate it. He's doing it solo dolo tonight, guys. It's just me and Doug tonight. I might need to get extra mods. Yep, all good, Moses. All good. Yeah, again, don't forget to check out Doug's channel for Career Breakfast. Oh, we've got motivational running theory. You haven't done the form before? Yeah, at some point we'll do some training stuff for the mods, just so y'all know how to coordinate and handle everything. And then also the, our X chat as well. Ryan, at some point I need to make you a mod as well. Oh yeah, no, thank you for the compliments on my setup. So this is the 50mm f1.2 G Master. So that's why we have the bokeh, and this is at f2.5. It can get more bokeh than this. This is f2.5. If I go to, let's see, because I do have manual aperture here. If we go down to 2.0, this is 2.0. I'll have to adjust the ISO down a little bit. But that's going down to 1.8. But then really blurry background if I go down to f1.8. But I just don't feel like f1.8 is necessary. I think we could do like 2.2, 2.5. And I think 800 ISO is probably good. 800, 1200 is probably good. Not too bright, not too dark. So I feel like that's about right. So I think that looks pretty good. Gives you, a little bit of blur. It gives the fact that there is things in the background. It gives some separation. It gives some depth. So I think it's pretty good. So yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you guys liking the aesthetic. Again, I try even when I'm on the road. I mean, I could have used my iPhone Pro and Belkin magnet setup, and I could have used this as my camera and just used the front-facing part of the iPhone. But I always like to try to have less of a scuffed stream than most people. So for me, even with using StreamYard and everything, like I said, I like having a nice mobile setup. I might take a photo of this and post it to you guys in the community tab tomorrow. But what I like doing is I like knowing that I've got a really solid setup here. Hotel rooms even got really nice rocking like freaking chair for me here, so it's pretty good. But I like having a nice setup. I use the professional camera gear even when I'm on the road. And I've even got good lighting even when I'm on the road, not just relying on the hotel lighting, but using these Elgato key light minis. These used to be like 35 bucks. Now they're like back up to 55 bucks because of shipping and parts, I guess. I use these very cheap like portable bendy tripods. This one's not as cheap. This one's a Joby, to be honest, but there's some cheaper knockoff stuff like I think Sunkit or something like that that I used for the rest of them. But they hold up pretty well. It'd be nice if they were all Joby, or if I just get Joby to send me some more stuff. Maybe I'll get them to send me some stuff. But it's a good portable setup. Vilva second monitor to do the channel reviews when we want to do that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, like when you have enough lighting, the ISO actually can be okay. So I bumped it to, like, I had it up higher. I had it, I think, at like 1200, 1600 before, or something like that. I just bumped it to like 800. And yeah, there's a lack of noise. It's clean because you have really good light, but you also have a good lens. And so that helps. Plus, it's full frame. So that also helps with the noise as well. So, those sort of things. Just waiting on the last one from Ryan. Let's see. Or let me see if I can even find it. Maybe I can find it in my messages. Because I know we had it from Coffee Talk. And I just need to find it. Let's see. Do we remember? Do we remember who it was and what the channel, what their channel was? If we have to, we can get it next time if we have to get it sorted out. I'd love to make sure we do it tonight. But Ryan, if you're in the chat and if you can remember exactly whose challenge it was, I think it was Lawrence, and I think I found his channel. Yeah, I think I found it. Okay, so mods, I think I found the channel. I'm going to post it here in the chat. So mods, this is the channel that we're reviewing is number 5. If you can grab the info for that and you can put it into the form, then we will have all of the channels in the form, and then we can make sure that we're getting everybody and that we get everybody in the right order. I'm setting up all of the channels now. So I'm copying and pasting the other 3 that we have. Plus we've got Tyler, so that makes 4, and then this one makes 5. So I'm doing that now. And you guys can get the stats and everything we need for the next channel. It looks like we're mostly set up. All right. And that makes 5. Okay, cool. All right, we got it. And we've got mods on deck. Thank you, mods. Yeah, sometimes super chats have issues. Man, it's all right. Yep, but we got it. We found it. It was Lawrence. We got him. We got him. Let's see. You know what's the one thing that I haven't worked out for when I travel? I haven't worked out my soundboard stuff. I think that it's going to require me to get a hub and then to use my Stream Deck when I'm here. Although in theory, if I do it just right, there are sound effects in the media assets for StreamYard. So for example, there is an audience applause effect. So we have that. Guy gong. So I think eventually that I could put my soundboard effects directly in here. And then when I'm on the go, I could just use my own sound effect assets that we have that we like in these streams. So I think we can manage that. I'll probably try and see if I can work on it tomorrow so that next time I'm traveling, because I do have more travel to do before the end of this month. I have at least 1 to 2 more trips this month before the end of the month. One of them is going to be me going to LA to work with Team YouTube on something. It'll be pretty cool. I'll hopefully be able to talk about it soon, and then I'll also just be able to show you guys soon. But I have I have 2 projects so far this year planned with Team YouTube. One is at the end of this month. One hopefully is in Austin in March with their team. And so really cool stuff, especially around YouTube shopping and monetization. So very cool to be able to work with YouTube again. While I'm there, I'm going to also pitch them a couple of ideas I have for us working together more in the future. One of my biggest regrets to this day still is turning down a job offer that YouTube gave me, because I still would have been able to do my channel. I thought that, is it like, should I take this? And it wasn't a money thing. It was more of a like, is it like, am I crossing some kind of pseudo ethical boundary where people will wrongfully perceive things a way they shouldn't if I take this kind of situation, to where I didn't want to have people feel a certain way. And it wasn't about me, let's say, feeling like they would criticize or judge me so much as I didn't want people to feel that it was in some way unethical, if that makes sense. But in hindsight, I feel like, man, maybe I should have just taken that gig with YouTube, because it'd be so cool. It'd be so cool for my resume. And I love the people over there, by the way. So it's one of my things that I still look, should I have done that? But yeah, this thing that we're doing is going to be a really cool project. I'm going to get to hang out with a lot of creators. I'm going to get to meet and hopefully help like 70 creators in person. I love in-person events. I love speaking on panels and roundtables and things like that. I love presenting, especially when it's a way to create value. So again, it's something I'm looking forward to. But yeah, enough stalling. We should have everything locked into the form now. So yeah. Dude, I don't think I can get you an invite. I wish I can try. I can see what I can do, Ryan. It's going to be in, God, what's that area? I forget the area it is, but I know I have to come into the LAX airport, so I know it's something you'd probably be able to drive to in your area. And then the next thing is in Austin, in Texas. So Ryan, I'll talk to you offline about this, but it's like, if I can get you to the thing, I will try, my man. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's going to be something really dope. I think a lot of creators are going to get value from it. The other 2 creators that I'm going to be working with on this are really great people. Seth and Madison, both, I've gotten to know them through the calls, putting together the project. They're wonderful people. They're very talented creators. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But without further ado, let's get to the reviews. Let's go to full screen on this, remove the chat. All right. So the first review that we have is a cocktails and spirits channel called the Barrel Age, and I love this banner. I actually love everything about this banner. I think as a designer, um, this is actually excellent. I love the character you have demonstrated in your profile pic, and it's you, as best as I can tell, shaking a cocktail beverage, and shaken not stirred. So I love that. When I lived in North Carolina, there was a couple of places we went, and me and the boys, and they had their own barrel aged spirits and ales. So I really actually appreciate this kind of thing, even though I definitely would barely drink anymore. I appreciate the savviness of it, um, and the sophistication. This design was very well done by whoever did it. Hopefully, you did it, and I give you all the credit. The barrel aged spirits, cocktails, and soul. I love this for you. This is great. Um, let's see. The barrel age is your resource for all things related to drinking, amazing beverages, eating inspired food, and listening to timeless music, thinking creativity, and empathetically. Wine and spirits were the first love of our founder. It's me. Yeah, this is solid. If there is another business you have related to this, I would want to link it in your more info, if you have that. So you have your schedule here, new recipes every week. You tell a lot of what it is. You have your name in here. So I'm good with this banner. I think it has a lot of character. I think that this should work on all devices, mobile, television screen, desktop. It looks pretty solid. So good on you there. Homepage could use more customization because all you have is videos and posts. You have 276 videos total. All of those can't be shorts. So you should be able to have some curated playlist here besides text post. So I would want to put those there. If you have shorts, I'd also want to have a playlist of your shorts here displayed on the homepage. So I would go into the customization tab there. Let's move on to your videos and then try to critique some of these thumbnails here. Let's see if there's anything really popular that you should double down on. So I think this thumbnail style of what you had from last year, I think that this thumbnail is much better than most of these thumbnails, if I'm being honest. And I think the views don't lie. So I know that these videos got more views because there was some controversial value to them. I don't think you always have to lean into that, but I think what you should take away is it's not just because they were controversial, it's because they were things people could have an emotional investment in. So I think that that actually matters. The emotional investment, I think, is a big key to what made these thumbnails work better. And the fact that you are less than 10,000 subscribers, yet you have a video with 71,000 views, should tell you what the potential of your channel is and could be. And I want everybody to see this. And I love doing these channel reviews because I think it's important for people to see that a 3,000 subscriber channel can get a 70,000 viewed long form video. Now, it could feel discouraging that your other videos don't do as well and feel like they're in the shadow of that. But your other most popular videos that have close to 1,000 views are actually very strong for a channel of this size. For a channel this size, it's actually not abnormal for most of your views to be in the 100 to 300 range. And that would be normal. That's not a failure. That's what growth would look like. And in truth, it looks like you've only been doing this for maybe a year and some change, and not incredibly consistently per se. So if we go, for example, by oldest, yes, you did a video 3 years ago, but you didn't do many of them. You didn't do them consistently. So you've really only been consistent at best for about a year. And you look at how far your thumbnail style has evolved from that time. So you spent a good amount of time learning, And it looks like you really got the hang of good thumbnails about 11 months ago, but you've only done so many of them. So again, looking at this and then looking at the progression, I think that it is fine. And I think that this style of thumbnails from last year was on the right track. I don't know if you hired a thumbnail artist for that. I don't know what changed there, but these thumbnails were on the right track a couple of months ago. And I see that you switched up some things, you experimented. Maybe these are you doing it on your own versus using an artist. Maybe there's a budget issue there. I don't know, but I would want to see you kind of go back to these. And I think you wearing the Havana hat adds some flavor and character to this. So I think you should lean into that, and maybe even the Hawaiian shirts. I think that there is a character play there that's really good. I think people like that look. Chat and people in the comments, you can let me know how you feel about it. But I think that there was some character and some real flavor here. And there is a pun with that. And I think that this thumbnail style was correct, more so than where you are now. It just may have felt like it wasn't, because at the time you were still growing and figuring things out. And I think that, the views to some degree reflect that, especially when we look at your video that got the 71,000 views, and the videos that got over 1,000 views. I also think that you'd be surprised how much just the topic can matter in terms of what you are talking about with chartreuse and vermouth. These are names that people care about in terms of spirits. So that can make a difference by itself in terms of just what people prefer. I always tell people, look at preferences, priorities, prejudices, and problems. And that's a really good filter for what will get views from a topic and title standpoint. And so, yeah, I would say that I'm not surprised that videos about chartreuse, vermouth, bourbon, got what they got. Really surprised. Well, what I would lean into here, what I might lean into here is I might want to lean into trying to identify spirits that get more attention and views, not only on other channels, but also I would look up search volume for that. I would also look up what's just more commonly ordered. You're in the business. So based on the fact that you're in the business, you probably have some idea of what is in inventory, as far as like what do more bars keep on stock, what they sell, what is ordered more. So I would kind of look at that. Surprised you don't mention, I haven't seen any videos that really highlight vodka specifically, or specific brands of vodka, or tequila, to be honest with you. Really shocked. Also videos that the truth about this, the truth about that, they do really good. So that's a good content pillar for almost anybody. So from a branding standpoint, I prefer your old thumbnails to your new ones. I think that has to be said. And I think, again, a really good example of everything that makes your stuff work is this video from 10 months ago that has 71,000 views. Let's look at shorts and see if there's anything we can figure out about your shorts. Let's try sorting by most popular. Okay, so you do have some popular shorts here, and I'm not surprised. And a lot of these have more views even than the long forms. You shouldn't feel bad about that at all, not at all. And I think that short form cadence for a channel like this can actually be really good. But it looks like for the shorts, it's a combination of spirits and food. I don't necessarily have a problem with that per se. And again, if you want shorts to help long form, my answer to it is to literally point 50 to 200 shorts at one video that does really good with first-time viewers that you want to see continue to do well, or a video that's sponsored is usually my response to people. So again, these are really good. A lot of these, a considerable amount of these have over 1,000 views on them. So keep up the good work here. Nothing really to criticize about your short form. Even the you warmed up shorts pretty quickly. Looking at your oldest ones, yes, the initial shorts uploads for everybody, with very few exceptions, usually doesn't do well until you warm it up. But it seems like you did eventually warm it up when we go and we look at your most popular ones, and the fact that you were getting anywhere from 1,000 to 11,000 views on a lot of these. And that, yeah, once you started hitting with shorts, you started hitting and not missing. And so the overwhelming majority of them still do very well. There's just a lot less misses in here. The misses seem to be a 1 out of 10 miss instead of a 1 out of 10 hit. So very good. Definitely a lesson to be learned there. And again, for a channel this size, it shows that YouTube does, in fact, push small channels. So I am good with this. Yeah. And in the chat, it looks like you're saying, wow, just all the things that mean the most to me you keyed in on. The shirts, the hat are my thing. I won Bartender of the Year and I'm consistently published. Haven't leveraged your authority. Oh, yeah, you should. You should. And again, leaning into that award-winning bartender is definitely a thing. So I like that. I think when anyone has hard-won authority, they've done something special, they have a credential. I think when people have a credential, an award, authority, status, always use it. Always use it when and where you can. Maybe not overdo it, but absolutely take advantage of it. If it's something rare that most people don't have, why not leverage it? Yes, absolutely. The most popular videos, the hat and shirt looks like it works 100%. Yes, timing and relevance of the topic are huge. Yes, our business, biggest selling spirits, vodka, tequila, bourbon. Yeah, I mean, again, I knew a little bit about this. I did nightlife for a while. I also, when I was a graphic designer, did a lot of club promo stuff back in my 20s. In my, let's say, I mean, I was a good kid, but I just jokingly call it my misbegotten youth, just for a reason. But yeah, so I was in the nightclub scene, the rave culture scene in my 20s, even though I was more straight edge, and like I would do the breakdancing part of the partying and none of the other part of the partying. But yeah, I do know the scene a little bit, and I know my spirits. And a lot of my friends became connoisseurs, even though we kind of moved into some other drinks. One of my best friends actually became a really big fan of ales and stouts when we went more on the pub side of things. So, we would do like Irish pubs and stuff like that. And it was a whole thing. There was a place we used to go to called Patty's. So, yeah. But looking at this overall, oh, I want to check your live streams. Oh, I love your setup for the live streams. This is very nice. I think that the live streams should be put together kind of as a show that you do. Maybe if you can't do it weekly as a show, do it at least twice a month as a show. You could promote it as a video podcast. I would distribute it to Spotify for creators, which host your podcast for free. And it'd be a video podcast show. You could make it a podcast and YouTube playlist as well, get some extra play out of that. And so I think that if you put together a 30-minute to 1 hour, maybe even 90-minute live stream program as a show, either twice a month or once a week, if you could pull off 1 to 2 times a week, that'd be amazing. But if you put together this live stream show where you're chatting and mixing beverages and doing this, I think that it would be really good for you. And then I think distributing a cocktail hour, actually, yeah, if you did some kind of happy hour show, I think that would be a big deal. And I think if you did like literally a happy hour for an hour as a show, And then you could also probably get some good shorts clips out of it as long as you shoot wide like this. You get some good shorts clips out of it. And I think that it would be a thing. I think it could catch on. And I think that if you were doing that 1 to 2 times a week for the homebodies, it would go over really well. So I think from a channel strategy standpoint, that's what I would do for you for live streams. I would brand it as a show. I'd make the thumbnails kind of closer to regular YouTube thumbnails, but I might incorporate something that shows just kind of the whole bar setup here. So I'm not against that at all. I think that'd be really dope, actually. Let's see here. So I'm just trying to get my, there it is. Yeah. So, so I think that that would actually do really well when it comes to the live stream component here. I'm fine with what you're doing on shorts. For videos, like I said, I think it's more topic driven, but also highly thumbnail driven. And I think that the thumbnail style and the things you can replicate, and also your own branding, the shirts, the hats, I think that that would work out really well with these. And I think you just have to have a little bit more patience on the long form. Um, the level of uploads and aggression you're showing on the short form is great. If with the short form you can do at least 1 to 3 a day on short form, I think you'll see actually even more growth. And I think you could get to 1 to 3 a day on short form by, yes, doing dedicated short form in bulk. But I also think if you do the live happy hour show once a week, there's a lot that comes from that happy hour that could be cut up for the short form. So I think that that could be a thing. Yeah, and Marcus from the UK had a really good idea for you. He said, call it the barrel happy hour. Yeah, that sounds really dope. I appreciate that. What do you think about repurposing lives for long form? Finally found the Pocket 3 and can record while live streaming. That's a maybe if the quality can be maintained. If the quality can be maintained, then that's a maybe on that. I'd have to see how it plays out. You could try experimenting with it, but if you do that, you still have to put 100% maximum effort, no chill, into the thumbnails and the titles as well. And you'd really want to plan it out to where you could chunk things from the live stream into the long form and have it make sense without making it feel lazy. So that's the approach that I would think. But I also think sometimes just having straight up intentional scripted long form is also the right answer. So it's one of those, you could experiment with it, and at your size, it's not going to derail anything to do an experiment for a little while, see how it goes, and then if it doesn't work out, pull back, try something else. So that's what I would say here. But overall, I really dig everything else you have going on with this particular channel. I think you did a really good job with it. I think that there's strong brand here. There's definitely a demand for this sort of thing. There's an opportunity with this. I really, really like the overall approach to this. I think it's solid. I think you gained some fans even from this live stream. You gained me as a fan. It's one of those things to where it's like, I only want to subscribe if I know I'm going to keep watching, but also because I'm kind of on a no alcohol kick for the most part. It's one of those, ooh, you know, I want to watch and I want to support, but I also don't want to drink alcohol. So I don't want to be tempted. But other than that, again, great job, Khalid. This is wonderful. Again, congratulations on Bartender of the Year. I think you have something special here. And, yeah, I was really happy to review your channel. I think there's some things that can improve here, but I think you have some of the best elements and best qualities. You have the showmanship, you have the production value, you clearly have the skills, you have a passion for the topic, you have a passion for the community around the topic, you bring something to the table that a lot of people can't. You have actually really good potential in every format: videos, shorts, live streams. Live streams can get you to the podcast. So I do think that you have a ton of value that you bring to the table. I think the high effort is in the skill set. and in your production. I think the quality is there. So you've got quality. I think that some of the issues are really packaging around topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. And I think if you get those down, the long form will follow, the live streams will follow. I think the live streams give you distribution. I think you should take the short form and live streams, go multi-platform with that. I think repurposing even the regular videos for Spotify for creators, going the podcast route could be great for you. So I think there is a lot. You say you got a mocktail show loading, say less. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, actually so I went, so me and my friend Cassie, we went out to Bahama Breeze before she went and did her trip for her content. She's a travel YouTuber. Well, travel and adventure. So we went out to Bahama Breeze last time she was in Atlanta and visited, and we had mocktails, and it was really good because we did a coin toss as to whether we were going to drink that night. Because I was kind of like, I don't need it, especially not hanging out with you. I have enough fun sober. It's fine. It was like, but we could. And it was like, so we flipped the coin, came up tails. We didn't drink. So we had mocktails, and they were great. So if you're going to do a mocktail show, I could definitely watch that. So I could have that in my feed and be okay. But yeah, I just, in general, I'm not against people drinking as long as they're going to be responsible. So I like that. But I also know times are tough out here, so sometimes people need to take the edge off, but some people also kind of need to stay in control too. So, I know you appreciate that. I know you feel me. You see it all the time in your industry. So yeah, I love this though. I love your show. I love the brand. I love the design aesthetic here. I love your attention to detail. There's so much you're doing right. I think you definitely deserve more views. I think you've gotten some really good views in the past. I don't think you should be discouraged at all. I just think that it takes, you haven't done that much long form, honestly, over a consistent period of time. So I think that just doing more of it will eventually help you grow and help you refine what the audience connects with the most and give them time to discover it, because you've really been cooking with the short form and the views are really solid over there. So I think you've got short form down, but if you can get these other two formats, and I think that they just need more time to cook than the short form, I think you'll be okay, to be honest with you. I think it's just a matter of giving it more time. And you've got some fans here in the chat just from this, now that they've been introduced to the channel. That's not usually even the intention behind the channel reviews, but sometimes there are channels that are just so good that people see them here and they become fans. And even I become a fan of a lot of the channels that we review. So I find myself watching them in my feed beyond research and just enjoying them. So again, I think you have something special here. I think it has potential. I'm not just saying that. Most of the channel reviews we get, it's a total overhaul situation in most cases. This is not one of them. This is a channel that just needs a little bit of TLC in the right places and more time to cook on your other formats. So I really appreciate the work you've been putting in, man. Thank you so much for submitting a review. And again, I think it's also encouraging for the small YouTubers out there to see that a channel like yours could get a 71K view video. And it just proves that YouTube is not pushing down creators or holding small creators back. It's just that you have to do something that connects with that bigger audience. And some things will hit, most things will miss. That's how it is. That's why we have 1 of 10s. And so I think that this is just something just like any other craft that if you continue to work on, it will bear fruit. So hats off to you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for submitting. And we wish you nothing but the best. So Doug saying Nightbot's going a little rogue again. I mostly have Nightbot in place because of some of the ne'er-do-wells we've had in the past in the chat, some of the evildoers we've had in the chat in the past. But I might need to tone Nightbot down because it's going full vigilante apparently. Oh, we got David in the house. Hey, David, appreciate you. Hope you, by the way, I hope some of you have been getting the voice chats that I've been sending you guys. I did 500 voice chats today. Probably didn't do my voice any favors on stage, but I did 500 replies to comments on the YouTube videos. I'm going to tell YouTube that they need to let us do voice replies on community tab post as well. But yeah, so a bunch of you should have gotten voice replies from me in the comments if you've been commenting on the latest videos, especially the latest shorts, now that we're doing daily short form uploads of my keynotes and my interviews. So hopefully, David, you got my last 2 voice replies, and some of you hopefully got them and appreciated them. So yeah, I would try and do that. It's a very human thing, and you can't cheat it with AI, by the way. You cannot cheat it. You can't make one and give it to everybody. You have to do them in real time, personalize every single one of them. So that's actually really cool. So I like that. I love using AI for productivity, but one of the things I've been doing with my channel, my brand, is going really hard on proof of human. That's why we do the live streams in person. I put you guys' names up on the screen. I shout out your name. I call you by name. We put the live chat going. We're doing full proof of human. Because again, I love using AI for productivity. I love AI hacks. I love saving time with it. But what am I going to do with that time? My answer is, what if I can use that time to be more human? I highly encourage you guys to do that. Zolo Q says, hey, Roberto, what is the point of having both post and a community tab? Where should I be posting? It's a bit confusing. Yeah, YouTube makes it a little confusing, but the difference between the two is that if you have the settings set up a certain way, the community tab can be your audience posting as well, if you trust them to do that. And I think there is like a subscribers only mode, so that helps. But and you can also put vetting filters. But the community tab is meant to literally be a community tab and be like an alternative to like Discord or Reddit or something of that nature, or Facebook or X, to where your community can post without you as well, and not just as replies, but they can actually initiate posts, but you would moderate it. So that's what that's for, versus posts are directly from you, verified, so your community doesn't feel like they're being scammed. So it's kind of, there's an interplay there, but one of the differences, one of them is more interactive with your community, and the other one is more you broadcasting yourself. So that would be the key difference in those. I may do a video explaining this. I have been considering a series, even though, because here's the thing. A lot of people in my space, they make a lot of these YouTube growth videos. No one makes videos that help eliminate the confusion around features in YouTube and tools in YouTube and tutorials for the individual one. Doug does a great job keeping up with the news. But I found that like a lot of how-to channels have felt like they aren't capable or willing to do actual tutorials to show you, here is a feature that YouTube released. YouTube doesn't even do this. Again, I might partner with them on this. Here's a feature that YouTube released. Here's everything you need to know about this feature. Here is literally a screen recorded demo of how to use this feature properly, where all the buttons are, what the features are, what this means, and explaining it to you and getting you in and out in 5 to 10 minutes and showing you how to use the thing properly so that you don't screw it up, have the wrong settings, or you aren't confused, or you don't know where it goes. So what I think is, I want to do more of that in 2026. It's one of those things where I've been mulling over for a long time. What's the direction of my channel? And ironically, it's going back to my roots: tutorials, how-tos, tips, tools, techniques, tips and tricks, and doing more of that. And also, yes, that on the monetization side of content creation, the business side of content creation. So what are we going to do? We're going to get into the tech tools and tutorials. We're going to bring those back, usually probably Tuesdays and Thursdays. Workflow videos of showing you a process for how to do something from start to finish. And then if we have a time for a live stream on Wednesdays, sometime on Wednesdays, we'll do workshops, and I'll show you, here is how I use a tool and what my workflow for a tool is, versus just the video from start to finish on like in 18 minutes on how to do a process. Tips and tricks, how-tos, tips, tutorials, best tools for this, best tricks and tips for this, so on and so forth. And then how to use, ideally Mondays, in theory, would be monetization Mondays, but if we have to do something else on Mondays, we will. But then I can talk to you about the making money part. Friday, I can talk to you about being a full-time creator and the business therein, and teach you business principles and practices to, instead of just, oh, here are ways to make money. Like, here is how to operate and run the full-time creator part, or become a full-time creator, or what it really looks like, that sort of thing. So if I was going to have my wish, and I actually was, and we will see if I can pull it off. If I was going to do Monday through Friday content, what it would look like is, on Monday, I will talk to you about monetization, inspire you, tell you what's possible, how much money something pays, how it works, profitable niches, all the things monetization and making money as a content creator. Tuesdays and Thursdays, tips, tricks, tutorials, and tools. So some variation of that. Wednesdays, I'd want to show you how-to videos for workflows on how to use your tools properly, and a process for doing something in like 6 simple steps, or from start to finish, or how it actually works. Sometimes a live stream on Wednesdays where, well, let's go through what my workflow is and how I'm efficient with this and how I use a tool, like the one we're going to do with 1 of 10 next Wednesday, hopefully. And so I would want to do things like that, right? And then Fridays, I'd want to talk about, well, here's the business side of being a full-time content creator. Here's what it's like. So those are the kind of things that I would want to do Monday through Friday. That's what that would probably look like for me. And, you know, if I got around to it, Sundays, maybe it's more of a yappy vlog style type video of me like telling parts of my own story of being a content creator. So it'd be that kind of thing. But yeah, I just think that a lot of tools on YouTube, super confusing, and there's no training around it. Most of you probably didn't know you can block political ads from your viewers. You know, you can block gambling ads from your viewers. You can block ads about dating apps or anything that could be a get rich quick scheme from your viewers. And, you know, people don't know that. So I'd want to show people that, oh yeah, you could do that. And then your audience doesn't have to be mad at you. So those are the kind of things that you could do. Does anyone have tips to find a reliable video editor? Yeah, I might need to make a video about that. That sounds like something people would want to see. Motivational theory writing says, I wish I could leverage AI for editing my long form videos. At least the rough cuts would save time. You can. If you're using Adobe or DaVinci, you can use the text video editing feature. You can cut out all the ums, ahs, and pauses, and it'll do most of the rough cut for you. It can get rid of all the silences and pauses and basically do most of the rough cut for you. If you have the timeline chronologically assembled on your timeline, and then the main thing is you want to cut out dead air and pauses and your ums and ahs, you can go ahead and scrub all of that. Then if there are parts you know you want to cut out, you can search for those parts in the text and then edit based on the script of the video. You can literally do that. You can do that with Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Descript, and there is another tool called Gling AI. Gling is in glamour, and you can actually do that. So a lot of people don't know that. Again, it's the kind of thing I should make a video about probably. Yeah, again, I think a tutorial series would be great. Agreed. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes it can cut a little too much. Agreed. Yes, Adobe text-based editing has been a godsend. I am going to make a tutorial about that, by the way. My hope is to make it similar to my green screen tutorial, and to some of the videos I did around sound and copyright music. And so, yeah, that's why I want to get back into the tutorial space. I just think I can make really good tutorials for you guys that'll help you with your actual tools, and then you'll be making better content. Because I think that, again, one of the things in my niche is a lot of people focus on strategy. Strategy is important, but skills have gone by the wayside in favor of growth hacking. And I'm like, well, I started with content that helped you with your skills. So I kind of want to just kind of go back to my roots with that. So yeah, it's just a thing. But anyway, keeping things moving, we got Tyler White. Keep learning, keep growing, keep going. Love it. 147 subscribers, 76 videos. Help self-educators overcome procrastination and burnout. Good, good. So I don't mind the cleanliness of this banner for what it is. Usually I like people to have their schedule, what they're doing and everything like that. But this is just so clean that I can let all of that slide in favor of that. So good featured video here. Why you forget most of what you learn. So I get a vibe here that's close to my friend Clark Cagley. I've known Clark for years. You guys might know him now. He has 1 million subscribers, so he's pretty big now, but I knew him before he was big. So it seems very similar vibe to his and very similar vibe to Matt Diavella. So I dig that. I think that this could be really good. I think Ruri Ohana is another name you might be familiar with. And I think you should take some inspiration from her. You probably already have. Your quality and editing and presentation, shot design is excellent. But to me, the thumbnails are not bad. The thumbnails are just as good as any other thumbnails on this topic. I think where you might actually be falling off is just really the title and thumbnail combinations matching up, but I think it's possible to overcome. You already have videos that get more views than you currently have subscribers. So that's one thing. Number two, in terms of the long form, this is not an extreme amount of long form. So don't feel like you're failing here or struggling. This is a learning curve. The great news is your production is good. Your lighting is excellent. The editing is more than good enough. So the quality of your content isn't the issue here. There's a packaging and disconnect issue in terms of the audience with some of these titles. These thumbnails are actually pretty good and are on par with most of the creators making similar content. But that's the thing. There are a lot of people that are already expert and already well known, making the exact same type of content. I would challenge you to find a theme, point of view, perspective, or philosophy that gives you an edge and lets you have a more emotional, compelling title. Because here's the thing, reading is hard until you build a system like this is a video that if I want to watch it from somebody, I'm going to watch it from Ruri Ohana, Clark Cagley, Dan Martell, or Ali Abdaal, right? So I think you need something that allows you to address the content and substance you're looking for, but you need a perspective and you need an angle and you need some other way to attack this that an expert, someone with a large personal brand is not going to, because we can already watch something that we believe of similar substance will come from a larger authority. You need something that subverts that because you don't have authority yet. You may have expertise, but we don't know that. And you don't have the status, you don't have the authority, you haven't earned the thought leader title just yet. So you need some other way to break through. And it might need to be something that feels more personal for now. So instead of speaking with the title, because you're not doing this intentionally, by the way, you're doing what you've seen work on YouTube, which is part of best practices. Oh, do what already works. But here's the thing. What works for somebody that is in chapter 30 of their career doesn't necessarily work for someone that's in chapter 2 or 3 of their career, if that makes sense. So what I would do here differently is I think you need a different packaging. Even Ali Abdaal started more with, I did this and this happened. So the thing is, instead of reading is hard until you build a system like this, it's that it would be more of a video of I struggled with reading until I did this. I'm not saying that should be the exact title, but I'm saying that should be the sentiment of it. The timing right now around people admitting their struggles with reading and literacy. I mean, look at Kai Cenat. It's like, so if you can have something that admits some vulnerability and says, I struggled with reading But if that's not true and that's not your story, then obviously don't make that title. But I think that until you are an authority and an expert and a thought leader that has its own audience, like in the latter, it'd be expert, as in, all right, I did this thing. I've done it repeatedly. Oh, I'm an authority, which means is the next level, which means people know me for this, and I may even have some accomplishments related to it that are publicly recognized. And then later, it's a thought leader who definitely has an audience, has an impact, is recognized by their peers in the industry. So that's the ladder. That's what you might call the ladder of impact when it comes to educational based content creation. So with the impact ladder, you really need to start with the level of, okay, to be recognized as an expert, I need to show people that I solved my own problems, and therefore use and leverage the vulnerability of I did this and here's what happened as a framing device. And then I think that that would help you here to break through, because if nobody knows you, it's very hard to convey expertise. But if you have a story that you're sharing of a struggle that you overcame, people will accept that solving your own problem gives you some level of expertise. When enough people accept that and now are asking for your methodology, you now are an authority. When your peers recognize you, you become a thought leader. So I would start the process of that by starting more from the position of not how to do this, but how I overcame this, how I fixed this within myself. And that's something that people can buy into. And then you win on relatability. And then they will call you the expert at this. And then when you're solving that problem for more of them, you will now be the authority in this. And then as you become the authority in this, and even your peers are learning for you, then you become a thought leader. So that would be your impact ladder in your personal brand, and why it's important to ground that in storytelling and vulnerability and authenticity. And so I think that that's incredibly powerful. And I think that that's where I would start here. So again, instead of how to set goals, a student or an adult learner on this 12-week year, I would more go with the title, something to the degree of how the 12-week year changed my life and ended my struggle with procrastination, something like that. Or how the 12-week year changed my life and how I think about setting goals. You did well with this video. This video has almost as many views as you have subscribers. I improved my thinking. You said 5 books that actually improved my thinking in 2025. What I would do is I might have changed this to 5 books that made me start thinking deeper last year, or 5 books that actually improved my ability to think clearly. And then I would probably change that from 2025 to 2026, honestly. 5 books that actually improved my ability to think clearly in 2026. It sounds like a longer than necessary title, but I think that that would do well. And then I would change the text in the thumbnail to something maybe like the end of brain fog, the end of mental fatigue, or improved my critical thinking. And I think people would react more strongly to that, for example, right? And instead of how to build a reading habit that actually sticks, I would go more to how I built a reading habit and read 10 books a month, or 25 books a year, or whatever it is, right? Or how I built a reading habit to read 52 books a year, something like that, as long as it's true, whatever it is. The why I stopped reading books and what I learned. I think that that one is too subversive to make sense for people, even if it's to get curiosity. So again, I would change these to stories, but I would make them more relatable. And it's not about dumbing them down or watering them down. It is making them more accessible to more common people. Again, you did good with this. How reading rewires your brain. Well, actually, instead of mind, you should have said brain. So, how reading rewires your brain and changes how you think. Because you had rewire your brain in the title, and so that was good. The other thing is with these books, show the spine of the book. Just showing the white pages of the book that isn't actually particularly helpful. Showing the spines of the book would be, and would actually, because you probably are going for mystery box. Oh, be curious about what am I reading here, but it's not working. Versus you could use the books as status and credibility instead. So I would change that. We got some great comments here. So one of them is, so far I like Tyler's channel. I wonder how he can be more targeted to remove the competition from larger YouTube channels with similar videos. How I made reader easier in my 20s and 30s. Yeah, no, something like that. You're dead on. So it's, again, it's about the bigger channels can tell you how to do something, what you should do, why you should do it, what something is, because they already have authority or thought leadership, and they are recognized as experts. To build your credibility and to move up your impact ladder, you have to start with you solved your own problems, and then people adopting that, and then making the claim that you are the expert in authority and asking you what should they do, and then that that changes things. So I would go for that with the impact ladder, and that's what I would do differently here. Because again, your thumbnails are mostly good. They're mostly perfect even, right? I rarely say that, but there are small tweaks. Sometimes it's just a word change, or again, for you, it's something as simple as you cannot be sitting here using the white pages of the book. You need the spine. You need to not leverage curiosity. You don't have a big enough name for that. You need to leverage using the borrowed credibility of those books. So using the borrowed credibility of those books actually now lends you more more status that you're able to derive from those because of the familiarity, bias, and authority that those books convey. Oh, you read this, I trust you more. Oh, you read that, interesting, I do too, so maybe we relate. So things like that. Again, proof's in the pudding. Look at this 3-step reading system. This video got more views than you had subscribers 2 months ago by far. And it says the simple system, this simple system finally fixed my reading habit. So again, it's even proof that the answer is in showing people you can solve your own problems. So I would say that that would be the significant change that would make sense here for you. You say this is so helpful. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. So again, I think that that would make a big difference here. Let's see your live streams real quick. You got one scheduled. Let's see, making what you read actually stick. I think there may be a better title out there for that. I think the thumbnail is great actually, but I think there might be a better title out there for that. These YouTube shorts are doing extremely well. Look at this. These are great. These are doing extremely well. Keep doing these. We just need to master short form and then also live streaming. It can seem daunting. It can seem overwhelming, but hey, you're on the right track. Do not get discouraged here. Do not harangue yourself about these views. These views are fine for your size. They're actually more than fine for your size. And this is a learning curve, and you're supposed to experiment. You're supposed to learn. And again, I think you're doing great, honestly. There are a lot of creators who don't get this far on this amount of videos, especially with the long form side of it. You're doing great on the short form side of it. So again, I would encourage you to keep going. And again, I think there are minor changes here that make a big outsized difference in how people see and relate to you. What you need to know is the quality of your content is fine. there's just some misalignments on the packaging that sidestep what the actual value is. The quality is excellent. It's a misalignment on value and perception. And if you could just change the misalignment on value and perception, then everything can be different. And the proof is already in just the difference in, there's no difference in the quality of these thumbnails and titles between 400 views and 40 views. There's no, look at this, less than 40 views, more than 400 views. There's no difference in the quality of those thumbnails. It is the perception of value to the viewer that is the difference here. And I think it's good for small creators to see that. It's not even, oh, the videos are too long or this or that, because the shorter video did not outperform the longer video. The longer video performed better. But again, there are two videos of equal length on the side of it that didn't do as well. And it's not because their thumbnails or their quality are any different or any worse. And again, I need you guys to see this because a lot of you think, oh, if I edit more. No, it's a misalignment of value and packaging. It's not even worse thumbnails or worse titles. It is about how the viewer sees value and what they relate to and what they identify with, and then whether that's represented and presented to them in a way that they accept and a way that they understand. So as long as that is there, then it can make all the difference. And we see that difference can be 3x, 5x, 10x difference right here. So again, this is a great learning opportunity from this channel. I think that there are some very strong things here. I like a lot of what I'm seeing. It's just that some things here can be evolved mostly in topic, title selection, and how it's presented, but it's not an issue of quality. It's just a misalignment of value, but you can easily turn that around, and you're doing so well with the shorts. You're doing well, I even think, with the long form. We'll have to see how you do with live streams and whether that's something that you excel at, or whether there's room for more improvement and growth there. Again, excellent job overall, Tyler. Very strong positioning. It just can be a little different, and then you build it up over time. I think you gained some fans here tonight. I'm one of them. And we will look at your YouTube career with great interest. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with me on Tyler's channel? Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comment section. So yeah, no, I think this was really good. So again, big kudos to you. Let's get a round of applause. Yeah. Yep, you got some fans here. Oh yeah, I definitely went through being very nervous when I started recording on YouTube. If you guys go and watch my oldest videos, you'll see it. Mr. Justin Billingsley says, I started a channel in December 2025. It's moving fast now. I'm worried I can mess it up. I suck on camera, but despite that, I'm already monetized. Keep going. I was trash on camera. I was trash on camera when I first started. It took me a long time to get good at, maybe 200 videos. Oh, there goes my other light. So we'll just, the ISO is not bad here, but we'll bump it up to about 1250 to compensate. There we go. So yeah, so I sucked on camera when I started, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would say it's pretty normal, and just keep going and you will improve. We improve at what we work at. Tyler says, so good, and something I understand now and completely overlooked. Yeah, see, a lot of people are skeptical about the value of coaching and advice in the YouTube stuff, and I totally get it. I understand where people are coming from. I understand there may be some hucksters or snake oil salesmen out there, but a lot of times, just an outside perspective of someone who's done this enough, made their mistakes, sucked. I've failed at more videos than most of you have made. That's incredibly valuable, by the way. Failure is the greatest teacher. If someone has never failed, I wouldn't want to learn from someone who has a perfect track record. I really wouldn't. They don't know how to take a punch. They don't know how to be a gracious loser. They don't know how to deal with adversity. I do not want somebody who is pristine. I want to learn from somebody who's earned their gray hairs. I want to learn from somebody who's had to spit out a broken tooth. I want somebody who has scars in the front and not in the back and has lived to tell the tale. I was talking to someone at the conference about this. I want to learn from people who have survived. I want to learn from people who have failed more than I've tried, more than I work. I want someone's mountain of failures to be larger than my body of work, and I want them to have survived it, and that's who I want to learn from. I don't want to learn from someone who has a pristine and perfect track record. I want someone who has survived losing battles. I want someone who has scars on their chest and in their front from facing down their worst enemies and their greatest fears. I do not want somebody to send me into the vanguard who hasn't lived through it and has the scars to show for it. I don't want somebody who went out there like an Achilles or an Adonis completely unscathed. I don't trust that. Okay. Like, that's what I believe. That's how I think about it. And what I will tell you guys about me is I made videos before YouTube existed and published them on the internet. I did not even start with YouTube. I started well before it. I started in the age of WMV and Real Player and LimeWire and BearShare and Lycos and GeoCities. Back in my day, we didn't have all this fancy social media. We had Zanga, we had Angel Fire, we had the Lycos and the GeoCities and the Homestead.com. Yeah, so like back in my day, that's what we dealt with, right? I'm 41. I know I don't look it. I'm 41. I've been doing the internet since I was 13 years old. I was coding websites in Notepad. So I'm an OG. I was out there, again, with Real Player and FFmpeg and Virtual Dub, if y'all remember that. Corel Video Editor. So I am like ancient in internet time, okay? And the thing is, I have failed and sucked at more videos and had more videos flop than most of you have ever even made, which means I have a wealth of experience of what someone can be doing wrong because I've done enough of it. I have so many Photoshop files that never saw the light of day. When I was a graphic designer and I was making graphic design content, I got razzed for my portfolio sometimes by all these hoity-toity like designers that wanted to just show their art. I'm like, I show my real client work. I'm not showing you guys my full potential. I'm showing you the real client work because I will remind people that your art portfolio that you make for passion is meaningless, because I put out the real work where I got overruled by my client and said, do it differently, even though I said, but that sucks or that doesn't look good. But it's what I want. It's what I'm known for, whatever. So I have to do what the client says, right? That's the reality. I was teaching the reality of what it is to do freelance work and work at a job and work for an employer and work in corporate America, which means that your boss will tell you to make the crappier version and you will have to do it. And I was showing and talking about that reality, and that sometimes bosses suck, sometimes clients suck, and sometimes they put out the worst version of all the options that they gave you. And for me, I felt like integrity was showing the version that the client approved and not necessarily, yes, I do remember Nero CD Burner and the Nero Suite. Actually, yeah, I saw that, Ryan. So like, so back in the day when I was doing stuff, I was like showing, here's the real world. The real world is you can do your art projects, but no one cares. People care about, well, what's the work that got approved by clients? What is like the actual thing you did for the job, for the living? And so I did that. I just put out, here's the reality. Here's what they paid me for. People were like, oh, who are you to teach anybody? Your stuff sucks. I'm like, this isn't necessarily my best work. It's what the client approved of. Well, look, you shouldn't put that out there. It's like, but that's the real work I did. That's the real work I played for. Are you guys putting out fake work that clients didn't give you, or that your boss didn't think? Are you guys just putting out your artsy fartsy portfolio that no one paid for? Because then that's not real, and you're not showing people how it actually is. You're showing them how you wish it was. So again, I used to get into fights with designers about this, and you get into fights with people on YouTube about this as well, in the sense that I would rather show you how things are versus how I wish they would be. A lot of YouTubers will go back and they will delete any video that wasn't a banger. They'll delete any video that wasn't a banger. I don't like doing that. Now, if something is so old as to be misinformation or people won't recognize or look at the date, then that's different. You could do it for that and it makes sense. Right? Or if something is like, oh, this is no longer representative of who I am, and people won't ever give me grace because maybe that's where the culture or cancel culture or whatever is, that's different, right? Philip DeFranco deleted his back catalog for that reason. But what I would say is, you have a lot of YouTubers that pretend that they only ever made bangers. They won't tell you about the first channel they made that flopped. They won't tell you about the second channel they made that flopped, third channel they made that flop. Most of your favorite big YouTubers, it's their 5th time doing YouTube and they failed the other 4. But they will pretend that the channel that's only bangers is all they ever did. And they're not representing their real portfolio that shows the progression, the struggle, and that they used to suck. And it gives all of you a false idea and makes it painful for you all to make videos that don't do well because people won't be honest about where they came from or their humble beginnings because they want a perfect portfolio. And I hate that nonsense. I hate the perfect portfolio. I don't think that it is necessary to have a perfect portfolio. It's okay to show that you struggled. I think it's essential to show that you struggled, and I trust that more. I believe that more. I think the fact that my channel doesn't have an endless series of nothing but the videos, do you realize that I would, like, ironically, somehow, some way, most people, especially younger people, but no offense to the young people, most younger people would rather or would trust me more if I went back and I privated every video that I made that has less than 100,000 views, and I only showed videos that have 50 to 100,000 views on my thing. They would then believe that I'm some invincible, infallible YouTube guru. And what I only ever strive to be is somebody who will give you the best information I know how to give, tell you what my actual experience is, show you what myself and other creators have done, and try to present it in the most truthful way I know how, and to make it reasonable, make it realistic, and try to make it represent reality of how most people live who are going to do this, because they're going to have a 9-to-5 job, they're going to have school, they're going to have kids, and they're going to try to do this. I don't want to present some fake, distorted version of reality that paralyzes people with this idea that they're supposed to be perfect. I just don't believe in that. I didn't believe it when I was a graphic designer. I didn't believe it when I was a writer. I didn't believe it when I was a photographer, and I don't believe it as a content creator and as a coach. I understand that some people do that because, again, they're worried about how they'll be perceived and that people will pick over and just highlight their flaws only. And I know there's a culture of that. I understand. I get it. But I also think the consequence of that is that nobody feels like they're allowed to struggle. And I think it damages small creators that don't realize that it's okay to make 100 videos, 200 videos, and not be at 10,000 subscribers, not be at 100,000 subscribers. And I'm tired of unicorns that make 50 videos and get 500,000 subscribers, making people believe that that's what's normal when it's not. It's rare. It almost never happens. And it may not even be the truth because they're not telling you that they made 5 other channels and 500 videos and failed before that. And it just deeply, I think, is hurtful to everybody that's out here just doing their best and then thinking that they suck more than they do when they're actually going through the normal process and they're just doing it honestly and not covering up their first tries. And so that just bothers the hell out of me a lot. So I talk about it. I've gone on a lot, and I've still got 3 more reviews here to do. But again, I just had to say it and get it off my chest because I think it is one of the things why most creators, especially young creators, but also not so young creators, struggle so hard to have confidence and clarity, is because everyone else is faking the fact that they didn't struggle instead of just admitting it and saying it's okay and it's normal to struggle. Yeah, I leave my worst videos of all time up, my oldest videos where I sucked on camera up, because I tell people all the time, none of you will probably make a worse video than I did when I started. This is what normal is. Normal is sucking on camera, having no energy, low energy, struggling to find your words, not knowing sometimes that you should cut parts out, and being awkward and being nervous and frankly being scared. That's what's normal. And I just wish people could show that and be honest and leave those cringy first attempts up. Just leave them up there. It's okay. Thank you so much, David, for gifting 5 memberships for people. Appreciate it. And something we're going to do for the members is, one, if the members leave comments, I'm going to give them voice replies and voice priority. Like I said, you guys are going to get more of the presentations that I do, the speaking presentations. We have a whole archive of like over 100 videos that are specialized for our members. So you guys can check that out. A lot of them are my keynote presentations. Yeah. Yeah, Jackie was saying that she knows a girl who was went from fitness to talking about how to grow YouTube, and she unlisted videos. Yeah, and again, some people do that. Now, if you're pivoting to a new niche, I can understand that. It makes some sense. There's an algorithmic play to that, but you could also just start another channel if you're going to do a hard pivot like that too, and then still use your old channel as a reference to say, well, this is how I started, and now I'm doing something different. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, you know, I just think that some people, there are good reasons to unlist videos. Like I said, something could be misinformation because it's dated, not because you said something wrong, but it's now not relevant anymore. So that could be a good reason. Another thing you could unlist videos for is because you completely changed your niche. I even will accept if you aren't comfortable with how you used to look, and you made a lifestyle change and choice and you don't want that out there anymore, I'll even completely accept that as a valid personal reason for unlisted in videos and stuff like that. And again, a hard niche pivot where you do a completely different audience, like if you went from gaming to sports commentary, completely understand if you unlist your videos. So yeah. So like I said, there are good reasons to unlist videos, and then I think there are less than honest reasons to unlist videos. If your old videos, if you've done a completely 180 on your content strategy or your brand messaging, and it's no longer coherent to have those things coexist, and you don't want to start a new channel, that is a valid reason to unlist or private videos. Example, I think I've privated 400 or something videos, but reasons were, one, a product didn't exist anymore. Another reason was, I feel like the context that I said something was for a moment in time that doesn't exist anymore, that another generation may not fully get. It wasn't anything out of pocket. It's just that, okay, this doesn't make sense anymore because it's not 10 years ago. The world is a different place. It's nothing inappropriate. It's just that that context no longer is something that people will have top of mind anymore. So the video just became too dated, for example. That'd be a good reason. Another one is there was a point where YouTube was very, very variety, and I hadn't committed to one direction or the other yet. So I used to do some movie and television show reviews. I privated or unlisted like all of those, right? And there, that was like represented maybe over 120 videos or something like that. I did a couple seasons of Game of Thrones. Some of them got 20, 50,000 views when I was much smaller. So it was like, actually, oh, wow, that's a lot of views or whatever. I could have went in that direction. I could have just been an entertainment YouTuber and did pop culture, movie, and television reviews, and people would have liked it. People liked my reactions. I could have been a reaction YouTuber. Again, YouTube used to be much more variety. So I was doing that 12 years ago. 10 years ago, I enlisted like 120 videos from that, right? There are like 100 videos that I made that were unlisted videos because I sent them only to my email newsletter, or I needed them embedded on my website for something. They don't make sense for the channel. So there are reasons to unlist or private videos that make valid sense, that are not dishonest or disingenuous, but they either make sense on a business level, on a sign of the times level. If something just, again, is no longer like culturally relevant, or people won't understand the context anymore, or something's misinformation, or a product doesn't exist anymore, or a website doesn't exist anymore, that makes sense. I had to delete so many videos for products and websites that don't exist anymore. that again, people would go to that website, and for all I know, it goes to a place that's been hijacked now or something like that. So you don't want that to be misleading. So there are reasons that could be legitimate to do things, but then there are reasons that are not. So those are example. I wanted to list that because again, I should make a video about when to unlist or private videos so that people know, oh, should I enlist to that? Because I know a lot of you have questions about that. When should I enlist a video? When should a video be private? And so I just wanted to give you guys some real examples of, when you could do that. Doug Hewson says, yeah, it's a great new perk anyone can offer their members. Yeah, giving priority voice replies. Now that we have voice replies for comments to members, huge perk. And so whenever I see someone's a member, I'm going to prioritize giving them a voice reply instead of just a text reply. And the good news is the voice replies also get a transcript if they want to read instead of listen, if they can't listen to it where they're at. So that's great. David says, I look back at some of my old videos with a sense of pride to see how much I've grown. Yeah, I do too. And that really is helpful. Yeah. Christian Encourager says, I've been a fan of yours for over 10 years, bro. Glad I've caught you live. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, you can enlist videos if you pivot to a completely different audience. Like someone going from gaming to sports commentary, yeah, that's a big pivot. Going from tech to sports or to gaming, big pivot. I understand that. Makes sense. Sparkle Sewing, formerly Bridal Sewing, said, I took a long, slow pivot, about 2 years to pivot from dry technical sewing edutainment to edutainment, storytelling, and cozy content. If you have a large old library, the pivot has to be slow to carry them along. Yeah, I went through something very similar when I went from purely creative pro freelancer content to stuff for content creators. A lot of people don't understand that that was a big part of my journey, and that I had to literally, when I moved on from creative pro content and tutorials and tech exclusively as my main content, with creator-based content being literally 1 out of 7 videos that I was making a week, to being all of it, that was a huge pivot, and it was a slow burn. And I had to basically give up the relevancy I had with maybe 200,000 of my subscribers, 200,000, 250, like half of my audience never signed up to be a content creator, and people still don't know that to this day because that's what they know me for. Only OGs who've known me for 10 years understand and know that. I didn't start out making videos for content creators. I'm one of the only people in all of YouTube education that did 250,000 subscribers on educating on something else and then added YouTube to it, but not it even being the only thing. And that it took years for creator help content to overtake the channel, and people still don't know that about my story for the most part. So yeah, so that's a whole thing. Solo Q says, it reminds me of how of an article I read where a game dev said his game started getting worse reviews over time because younger people don't know how to write an email properly, and it messed with the mechanics. Yeah, that happens. Let's talk about the steps to take after you post, please. Yeah, we'll talk some more about that. Oh yeah, Mix Jackson. Yeah, how's it going, man? Let's see. I was around. I remember that. I'm an Adobe head, so I was learning tips from Roberto back in the day. Yeah, and I still make Adobe tutorials. Get like we talked about earlier with video editing workflow stuff that we're going to get to for people as well. That there are a lot of Adobe tutorials that I'm probably going to end up doing here in the near future. There are a lot of productivity tools that will really help a lot of you with your video editing workflow, speed, things like that. So yeah, we're definitely going to cover more of that. Like I said, back to my roots. Just Danielle says, I'm utterly lost when it comes to membership. I don't know what else I could offer. Okay, if you update YouTube Studio, priority voice replies is something you can offer to channel members. So that's one. You could offer members only streams. Number 2, you could go and you could live stream and could start public, and then you could flip to a members only mode, and then people can come to the after party, but only if they're a member. So you can promote it 10-15 minutes before you flip the switch so that people know to sign up and become members. So that's something you can offer. Another thing is, if you have merchandise or products, you can give them exclusive coupons. You could have a support tier with, hey, they're supporting me. You could also do a archive of, here are some member only videos. So the members only videos, if there are videos you guys know you want to make that you absolutely know probably won't get views, make those members only videos so that until you're ready or it makes sense to start another channel, which again, after maybe 10 to 50,000 subscribers, you could, because you're monetized and you're set up and you have something growing already. Like, you can make videos that you know you want to make, that you want to publish, that you know will not get views from your normal audience. Make that members only content and put it out there, and then everyone who watches it is someone who paid to watch it. So that's another perk that you can offer. And so those are the things that a lot of you could be doing for channel memberships. I will make a video about this this year, I promise, because I am going to make a video about 15 ways to monetize and make money as a content creator. So that will be coming soon. I have to get back home, and then I'll start filming these things. So I will make that video. Then I will make solo dolo videos on each of those 15 monetization things, like memberships. So we'll do multiple videos about memberships. We will do videos about YouTube channel memberships specifically, and then I'll tell you how to do that. I will make recommendations on making a Patreon. Then I'll make recommendations on your own private membership, which will be probably about using Kajabi, because that's what I use for mine. So we'll do YouTube channel memberships, Patreon, private website with Kajabi, and tell you guys each of those. Then I will probably make a 15 tips videos for memberships. And so that's kind of going to be like about a 5-video series we'll do about monetizing with memberships. Then when I do the other types of ways to monetize, I'll probably end up doing, after we do the individual videos in the 15 so that we have them, then I will then do a series on breaking down different things with them. It's like, okay, we did how to do this one, how to do this one. All right, now here's 15 tips for it. Here's a how to start. Here's a how I did it. Here's a video on how much money you can make doing it. So we'll kind of like do a 3 to 5 part series on each of the 15 ways to make money as a content creator. So for me, that makes sense, because then that gives me like roughly 45 to 50 videos I can make in a year that are all about making money, that's a good thing for me. So like, that's kind of my plan. So that will help you. Yeah. Is there a way to change the price of membership tiers? Yes, there is. Maybe, so in addition to doing a video about what to offer and how to do channel memberships, there might be literally just a tutorial on setting it up, doing pricing tiers, and walking through that process. Because yes, you can, but then they also go into a review and an approval process. And yeah, basically Doug has it right that you basically have to set up new tiers and new price points and shut the old ones down, and then members have to re-up so YouTube knows that's fair. And then YouTube has to approve them when you do that. So yes. Yep. And thanks again to Doug for holding that down. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, we still got more channel reviews to go. So let's go ahead and get to Try Tendo. And let me do some water. Let's see here. All right, so we got Try Tendo. I think from a meme standpoint that this banner is kind of cool, but I still think that I would prefer it if this had your upload schedule in it and just what it's about. But I get the approach you're going for. And this is very cute. This is very family friendly. So your family friendly content creator who also happens to be a video game nerd. So yep, definitely on brand. Love that you have a fourth wall store. They're pretty dope. So that's good here. I do like that your little piece of the Triforce guy is waving to the audience. Congrats on 107 videos and 17,000 subscribers. That is definitely an accomplishment you should feel very proud of. 97% of people do not break through to 10,000 subscribers. Good layout and good playlist setup here. And you're doing all the formats, and it seems like you're doing them reasonably well. And now you even have collaborations down here, so that's pretty dope. Kudos to you, and great on getting this collaboration that you guys did that did 111,000 views on the next Zelda for Nintendo Switch. Highly anticipated. You're in luck. I'm one of the only YouTube strategists that is a lifelong Nintendo fan of over 35 years, because I'm turning 42 this year. So I can literally, I'm one of the only YouTube strategists and experts you could ever talk to that can literally claim to have been a die-hard Nintendo fan for 35 years and has a substantial collection of Nintendo stuff, knows the lore of the company itself, the consoles, the games, the character, the community, had a subscription in Nintendo Power magazine. So I'm one of the only YouTube experts who has decades in that. There are some younger YouTube strategists that can say they're Nintendo fans, but I've been a Nintendo fan longer than they've been alive. And I do think it matters. With that said, some of your thumbnail approaches do work better than others. And I would say that you don't always have to overdo incorporating your character into them. In this case, the pillow and your character is not adding nearly as much to this as it would if you took a different approach, because your character can be involved and it works for you and people recognize it. I just don't think it was effectively executed in this latest thumbnail. So I would probably want to do some A/B testing there. And so it might have done better with just a different creative approach to this rather than the pillow thing. Most people don't get that. Plus, the pillow is white and blending way too much into the white background here. In terms of the UI, not enough people are going to look at this. You can use a graphic designer's perspective for certain things, but the problem is you aren't actually citing a game or a franchise that people would care about. And there's nothing in the thumbnail to use authority or familiarity bias. The views on this are not bad. By the way, the views on your video from 8 days ago are not bad either. Both are respectable views for a channel your size. So don't get it twisted when I'm saying this. I'm just saying they could have been more effective and they could have performed even better. They could have performed even better because this one with Mario and Link, it uses enough familiarity bias to where this is fine. This could end up still being an over 10K view video, which would be great for you. But even at 5 or 6K, it's fantastic for a video for a channel of your size. So don't get it twisted. Almost 2K on this one, that is your perspective on something, and it doesn't even use as much familiarity bias or a known entity or property, is also still fairly strong for that. It's just that it could have been stronger, it could have been better in terms of if you could use something that is recognizable or a game that people know or understand, or even use the title, game in the title, that would have done differently. Graphic designer judges your custom Kirby Air Riders vehicles is actually a really clever and smart video. Same for this one, and using the Taco Bell logo in here. Talking about the UI and UX design of Kirby's Air Riders, 43K views. Excellent work here. Saying I didn't expect this to be my game of the year. I get where you were going for with curiosity. I would have named it still in the title. I would have still named it. And I think that that would have just gotten more people's attention. But I also understand you were going for mystery box there. So again, I think that most of your long form does excellent. I think that there are just some passion projects that don't hit the way that you might have hoped. Silk Song Escaping Hollow Knight's Shadow. Um, I think that there's another way to convey exactly what you were going for with this. One thing, I think that the silhouettes are iconic, but I think it would have been a stronger one if you zoomed in on both of them. And it's just bigger because of the fact of how this is going to play out on mobile. It also looked better in um, a television screen as well. If it was just bigger and punched in, you could still redo that one if you want to. It is a little older, so maybe it doesn't matter. But I think that that one just could have been stronger with just a difference in the sizing of the characters, because they're I get you were going for their full body silhouettes here, but it also minimizes them. And I think you literally should have just made them 3 to 5x bigger, and they still would have been iconic and recognizable to most people at a glance. And I think that would have made a difference on this one. I think that could have been a 10 to 20K view video with that at the time it was posted. And then in the title of that one, I think the title could have been stronger and could have said, how Silk Song escaped Hollow Knight's shadow and became a beloved game. That would have probably done well. In general, your videos are excellent. Your sense of themes, your way to bring intelligent discourse to videos is very well executed. You're leaning into your expertise. You bring a unique perspective. You do very well with the long form. Let's look at what's going on with your shorts. There's just some minor tweaks here. Like I said, minor nitpicks on some of the things. Let's go to the shorts. Shorts are doing really good, in my opinion. And it makes sense too, especially with the topics you're covering and what people would care about here. So well done. You could just stand to do more of them. Channel would grow really fast if you had a way to batch record these shorts. I don't know how long you've been doing the shorts. If you had a way to batch record these shorts and you were doing 3 to 5 of them a day, I could see the channel exploding off of that. And it wouldn't make you a shorts channel to do that, by the way. And people, if you pointed most of them to specific long form videos, like if you did the shorts and you painted 50 to 100 of them, maybe even 200 of them at a single video at a time, that would do well for you. Let's see, do you do live streaming? Yeah, I think it's fine if you do live streaming sporadically like this. But I also think if you did some members only streams or flip some of your streams at a certain point to members only mode, that you would have a lot of members and a lot of support, given how the live streams do, given how the overall channel does. So the one other thing here is I would consider making sure that each live stream has a completely unique thumbnail instead of reusing them. So at least not back to back anyway. So I would do that. And I would think that there should be a members only component to your live streaming strategy. I think it's easier to get members with that. That could help you with sustainable revenue as well. So I would encourage you there on that. But overall, this channel has a lot of potential. I could see this being a 100K channel. I would keep up with the long form. I think your cadence for this is really good, of quality and quantity, of weekly videos, very thoughtful videos, well executed. So I would keep doing those, but I would then aggressively, if you're going to do one long form per week, I would do maybe at least 1 to 3 short forms per day. And then I would do more live streams, and I would do a members only toggle on the live streams. And I would maybe do 2 live streams a month, maybe 1 a week even. And then I would do a members only toggle at a certain point. And yeah. You have an editor that does the shorts. You work full time, so all your time each week goes into your weekly long form. Yeah. So if you have an editor to do the shorts, I would maybe make more material for him when you can on your days off after you know you've accomplished your long form. Once you've accomplished your long form, if you're still set up, take a water break, make some material for the short form, have your editor do that. And then if you're aggressively are putting out 1 to 3 a day on short form, if you can pull that off, maybe it's 1 a day to start. You'll see some more growth come out of that. And if those all can point to long form, then that will actually still grow people watching long form. And then you can do that. And like I said, you can get stable revenue by doing a lot more live streaming, doing the members only toggle. And then that will help you with a transition to getting more out of this even part-time. But again, I think you're doing great, to be honest with you. I think this is well executed. I think that you have a smart approach to content. I just think there are minor tweaks that make some content work better than others. But also, I'm fine with you doing some of these just because you want to. Because again, even your videos that perform the least still are performing within range for your channel. And a lot of your videos are performing or overperforming for a channel your size. So you've cultivated clearly an audience that recognizes and likes what you do. I like what you do. So I would say good job with this and keep up the good work. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Tritendo. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me, disagree with me? Let me know in the comments if you would do anything differently. If you're watching the replay, let me know if you do anything differently if you're in the live chat. But I think that the advice here is solid, that there are just some improvements to thumbnail execution in some ways. There are some title improvements that could work to nudge this just in a more broader, accessible way, even for the existing audience. I think short form can definitely grow this. I think live stream can make it a lot more money with the members only live stream toggles. And then that just makes the effort more sustainable, so to speak. So I think, again, another example of winning with all formats. This channel's winning with all formats. We've seen a couple channels tonight win on every format. And it is possible. Again, my goal is eventually to just win with every format. We're building a short form audience on my channel from nothing. We've been doing daily short form for about a week now. We're still going with that. It's mostly interviews and keynotes. So we're doing an authority shorts play at high quality. We're doing that from some of my past inventory. We're going to be doing it from some of my new keynotes and stuff like that. So we're moving to being completely every format on this channel. We're posting my shorts to every platform. We're doing my live streams on every platform. And I'm going to be coming back when I get back from this trip and my other trips. We're going to be trying to batch record to at least 1 to 2 long forms a week. I have 3 that I've already filmed, but I have to test something to make sure the audio came out good on all of them. I had 7 videos filmed, 4 of them, the audio, something went wrong with my wireless microphone. So I have to figure out what went wrong with the DJI Mic 3s. Is it my connector pins? What's going on there? Do I need to clean the connectors? Was it faulty charging with the magnets? What's going on there? Because I spent way too much money on the DJI Mic 3s to have them ever fail. So I have to check that. Friend of mine had hers fail due to it being knocked over on her tripod by the wind on a cruise, and it was damaged. So I know that connector pins can be faulty if they're damaged, but I don't feel like I dropped it or anything, so I don't know why. But you know, it was just annoyed because I had like 4 videos, an hour and a half worth of solid footage, and the audio was trash, and I had to throw them out. And it was really good content, but it was unusable, right? And I had 3 that, all right, if I cut a piece here or there, it's pretty good. It's manageable for like 95% of the video. So I would just cut the 5% and where the context may or may not matter. So I'm just gonna have to make sure that those videos are passable. But when I get back, I just have to film new content, and it's kind of annoying, right? But we're gonna try to do 1 to 2 videos a week before the end of the month. Go back to 2 to at least 1 to 2 videos a week, daily short form, weekly live streams if we can, 1 to 2 live streams potentially a week. So we're gonna try to round things out with that. If I ever can just make sure that I've got the editing flow and the cadence right, we'll get back to multiple videos in a week. So question here is, so when should we switch our live streams members only? If you already have existing members, then that helps, because then there's justification for it. Then I would say do a countdown at a certain point in your stream where it's like, hey, 15 minutes, we're going to the after party. It's members only. If you want to be there, join now. And then you'll get to recruit more members. And then you just, all right, we're down to 10 minutes. Now we're down to 5 minutes. Hey, down to 3 more minutes. This is it. We're winding down. Thank you so much. Public is over. We're in after party mode. So members, stick around. The rest of you, I'll see you next time. And that's how you would do your transition to the toggle to members only mode. So to answer your question as to when, that's how you would do it. So I would honor whatever your original agreement is with the audience. If you're streaming for an hour, 2 hours, publicly, whatever your conditions are, you do that. Then you do the toggle to the members only after party. And then that makes sense. Then you hang out with your members for a specified time that you said, whether it was like, 30 minutes or whatever it is. And then you do that. And then you shut down the whole thing. Boom. And then you've honored all your promises. So that's how I would approach it for the majority of you. Again, probably will address this in a video coming up. Yep, I think that's key. Got it. Yep. Doug says, I actually thought it was an odd feature for YouTube to roll out when there's more important live stream features that are needed. I agree with you, but I also understand it because it made it easier for people to know how to offer something to their members. You saw how many people were questioning that in this chat and how many people were like, oh, that makes sense, or oh, that's a good idea. And it's an easier monetization model for more live streamers. So I think that YouTube prioritizing monetization makes sense when they have such an existing large ecosystem of monetized creators, and giving more creators, live streamers, and podcasters another monetization feature before they do other things actually does make sense to me, because to be honest, creators are driven by the monetization incentive of YouTube. So doing that and then also having something that's more unique that other streaming platforms don't have, it makes perfect sense to me. I get where you're coming from, Doug, from a usability feature standpoint, keeping up with the other streaming platforms. But yeah, that's why I think that they did that, is just to offer more monetization to streamers and as a way to court them and to also maintain the ones that they have. It makes perfect sense from my perspective for that. And it's also a very much viewer-centric bonus for paying viewers as well. So that's why I think they did it as a priority. I think the other features are coming soon. I'm glad that they have the vertical and horizontal streaming. So yeah, so it makes sense. But like I said, Tritendo, hope that you really enjoyed your channel review and that you got some value from it, because I dig your channel. All right, and we've got another water. Got all the hydration, right? Last shot of the coffee. All right. Let's see. I think we've caught up on chat. Again, shout out to everybody who submitted for the channel reviews. So we got all 5 of you. Also, shout out to these super chats. Mr. Fred the Bear with $1. Appreciate you. Our friend David Matney donating five, count them 5 channel memberships. So really appreciate you. And also we have a $4.99 super chat from Just Danielle 365. So appreciate you. Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible feature either, Doug, but I definitely get where you're coming from. Yeah, we've got 2 more channels to get to. And again, I've been just enjoying the conversation with you guys. But let's go ahead and get this next one. So we have made by 4NT. And again, this is our second to last channel review for tonight. We are only doing 5 tonight. We'll do more next week. But yeah, this channel is for people who love graphic design. I do art and stuff. Love this. Still would just love something that says new videos every week or whatever your commitment is. I believe we might have reviewed this channel before. You have shorts, you have videos. For the amount of videos, this is probably a decent custom YouTube homepage. Maybe add another couple of playlists to this if you can. Let's see your videos, and then let's see what's the strongest video you have. So the strongest video you have from 2 years ago, which is consistent with the amount of content you've made, was specifically how to do a tutorial on a cover album. And then you did a Pantone poster. I would consider doing maybe even something covered here. Here's what I would look at. Obviously, you could take inspiration from Piximperfect and from Brandon Shepard, and I would consider doing that, but with your own twist. And I think you should also look at the most viable things that people will need to make in order to have a profession or a job in graphic design. For example, InDesign is not covered enough. I made some InDesign tutorials that did really well. I think some of them had like 100,000 views even. Instead of this whole, I recreated a $1 million book cover design or whatever, because also this thumbnail doesn't necessarily work and show off the actual thing. I think you need to do things on the InDesign series. So here's the thing. If I was doing a graphic design channel again, which is basically what you're doing here, I'm going to tell you my strategy. My 5 content pillars for a graphic design channel would revolve around Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and believe it or not, because people use it, Canva. And then I would have another content pillar that is beyond, like, so I'd probably do that. Or actually, let's leave Canva out of it. Let's just say you're an Adobe person. Let's leave Canva out of it. So I do the trinity of Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe InDesign. But I'd also have the content pillars of print design and brand identity work. So print design and brand identity projects. I would have logo design projects, and I would have graphic design projects that basically are more advanced and are layered in Photoshop. Something you could do, and this is not an original idea completely, but what I might have done in your series of doing this is I might have done an Adobe Illustrator series A through Z, and created logo designs A through Z as a series in Adobe Illustrator. Then I would have made brand identity projects based on those logo designs A through Z in Adobe InDesign. And then I'd also make book covers and layouts in terms of like interiors, like, hey, complete book design A through Z, and show a project of, here's a book designed for a book with this theme based on, again, the letter A, and make this, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth, and do that. You could also do combinations where it's like, okay, I did the artwork in Photoshop and I did the layout in InDesign, and so on and so forth. So I would do things like that. I would have done poster designs A through Z and made up brands for these, made up brands, made up companies, so that you don't have copyright issues. And I would have done, okay, I did these posters A through Z. So I would have done print posters A through Z, book and magazine designs showing covers and interiors and done A through Z. So that's 26 per thing, right? Logos A through Z. So that gives you this huge series for each one of these major programs. And it gives you something that people could latch onto as a series, watch multiple videos of, and it makes sense. And you get to use how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. And again, it's been years since anyone has done this. And it's been years since anyone has really tackled this. And you can still do one-off tutorials of how to use individual tools that lead up to this. You could also still do a how to use Photoshop for beginners in 15 minutes, how to do Illustrator in 15 minutes, how to do InDesign in 15 minutes, and teach people that. You could still do best 10 tips for Photoshop beginners, best 10 for Illustrator beginners, best 10 for InDesign beginners, and so on and so forth. And that would make sense. So you could still do tutorial content that are one-offs. But again, I think doing a deep project series gives you something unique, gives you something for people to care about, and it would make more sense. I think for these ones where you want to do things that maybe have a more hip-hop industry vibe, they could be live streams where you can do that to where it's more the thing that you're into. And I think people would dig that. And it would give you a way to where you feel like you're not limiting yourself and not doing something you're passionate about. But if it's a live stream, it means the maximum effort isn't put into the edits around these things. So you would be putting the edits into the thing that's the most fruitful for you, and the thing that's also the most attractive to a broader audience. So I think, that would do far better here. And I think it would make sense. I'd love to know what the folks in the chat or watching the replay think about this. But I think that would be a better approach for you overall and would give you what you're looking for and would be more fruitful. And I think it would also serve the learners better because they'd also have this very deep dive, and they get to see the different tools and features brought to action in a project they follow along with, and they can do it from start to finish themselves, and so on and so forth. And then it also gives you a business model where it makes sense for people to buy templates around projects from you and then to try to put things together on their own. And they would want to do that, or presets from you, so on and so forth. So I think as someone who did graphic design tutorials in their early career and someone who understands this niche in the industry, I think that would actually be the best approach to you, and it'd make you valuable to a new class of working designers who either are on the job or trying to get the job or even trying to do extra projects outside of school and want to learn these tools. So I think that's the direction that if I was going to give you a content strategy from beginning to end, that would be it. And then, like I said, for the stuff where, well, I really enjoy making this and this is what I'm good at, I would do those all as live streams. And then I would do really for your shorts, quick tips and tips, but also possibly a little bit of satire on what it's like to be a designer. So again, you clearly can do the live streams and teach people. So again, I would do that, and then you could do that around projects that you like and enjoy and that you feel fit your vibe. So that would be my advice here, and I think that'd be good for you. And if you ever move into some of the other things, more like After Effects, the best thing you could do then is you could do an A to Z series. I don't think anyone's done an A to Z series on animating logos and graphics with After Effects and doing A to Z projects where it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like, in terms of just doing a deep dive and showing how to use, okay, we're doing this, but now instead of this effect, we're doing this effect on an animated logo, and we're making it in this style, and we're taking advantage of the shape of this letter G or M or W or whatever it is, and we're going to use this feature today, or we're going to do this for this brand, and so on and so forth, and showing people different tools as a result of that. So then that would be something also that nobody else has that adds another dimension to your content pillars. stuff like that. If you ever then wanted to move into Premiere Pro, you get to use the After Effects asset that you guys made, relate it to the other video, and show them how to put together motion graphics, videos, and edit and features in Premiere Pro, but you use some of those assets. It relates them to the other tutorials. You get to show off the tools that way. So, and then again, you get to do an A to Z Premiere Pro. So again, if I were tackling the Adobe suite as a graphic designer again, I would do these A to Z projects across every one of the Adobe apps and the things that they specialize in. And I would do these projects that then make sense, because like with Photoshop, it makes sense that it's poster design and things like that, right? That makes sense for people. Or even brand identity packages in Photoshop, that makes sense for people, possibly InDesign, or combining Photoshop and InDesign for brand identity and saying, okay, we're doing it for print and digital. And then that's like a good excuse to make a 30-40-minute video that people actually watch as a masterclass and going to go A through Z. Here's the other cool thing. Once you make a complete A through Z series, you can then stitch them all together and make a mega upload video where they're all stitched together that people can watch, and you can chock it full of ads and raking money, and then it's a free course. And so people would love that, right? So you get to do that for Photoshop with posters. You get to do it with InDesign for book and magazine layouts. You get to do it with Illustrator for logos. You get to do it with After Effects for animated logos, which again, people would dig that and seeing the features in After Effects. And you get to do it with Premiere Pro. And with Premiere Pro, if you wanted to, you could get a little fancy with it in terms of, well, what would people want to make in Premiere Pro? And then for that, it could be, animated intros A through Z, just so that you don't have to do something extravagant like a music video, because that's just way too much trouble. Even though I know culturally you might like that because of like some of the album stuff you were doing. And so then there's that. For the album stuff and things you like doing with that, I would just do those as weekly live streams, maybe twice a week, and then show off your own skill, answer questions, chill stream with your audience, blah, 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 on your day off, blah, blah, blah. And so maybe that's a once or twice a week thing. Probably once a week is the right cadence for that. Let you express yourself, not feel suppressed. And that's probably how I'd map out the career for like what an Adobe tutorial channel could be, and where it makes sense, and then where it gets to go deep. And then for short form, I would do less short form on that, but I would do it, do enough of it to where I would just do, hey, here are the 5 best fonts for this, or here are the 5 best plugins for this. Here are the 5 best. So I was like, I would do that. Or, oh, here's something you didn't know you can do in InDesign. Here's something you didn't know you can do in Photoshop. Or here's this. And so that's how I would do those. And I wouldn't do as much of those if I was putting this much effort into the long form there, but I would have it for discovery reasons. So I think that would be good. And I would just batch that kind of stuff. So that's what I would completely do, and what my entire strategy would be if I was doing a tutorial channel around the Adobe apps. And that's speaking as somebody who was in that niche, successfully, mind you, for quite a long time. So that's how I would do it. Plus maybe some one-off tutorials on the individual tools that add up to that. But yeah, so that's how I would approach it and what I would do. And it makes sense now to have this 26 video playlist deep on each of those and making sense. So yeah. But that's what I think. I would love you guys' thoughts in the chat if you're watching this live, your thoughts in the comment section if you're watching the replay, on how I would approach a tutorial channel like made by 4NT, and what I think he should do there and why I think it makes sense. Recreating the Lay's logo in Photoshop. Or yeah, Brandon Shepard's already doing stuff like that. You could do it, and it could make sense. I think making a brand that's kind of similar and then doing an A through Z thing might be a safer bet in case some companies don't like that. again, Brandon Shepard's doing it successfully already as well. So maybe that would be another reason to go a different route with that. But yeah, something like that. It could work. But yeah, that's how I would approach it. Is I would just do the A through Z series. Because then I know, 26 projects. If I do original made up brands, I get banger portfolio work potentially out of this, even though it's made up brands. It makes sense and I can apply it. And I own the thing now. Or if it's a brand I ever end up wanting to make in the future, oh, cool, I've got it. I own the logo already. It's great. So you'd have that. I think it sets them up to do templates and presets and things for people who want them, things like that. I think the live stream component ends up being really good for expression and teaching. And I think the mega upload compilation of full A to Z free course, boom, on the channel, instant win there. So big mega video, watch time, all the things. So I think that that's why that would work. I also think an A to Z series makes it very easy for people to subscribe and look forward to the videos every week. And so, yeah, and I also think it lets him speed run that, okay, half the year he gets this one out. Or, I mean, he gets to get out literally 2 of the programs deep and done in a year each. So like in 2 years, he's got 4 of the main apps covered. In 2 years, he's got his 3 primaries covered in 1 year if he's putting out 1 video a week with this at high quality with good pace. So I would do that rather than the daily uploads he's doing right now. If he could manage, I think it'd be too intense to do 2 projects a week like this. I think it's a 1 a week project thing. So I'd do 1 project a week with this, which gives you like your 52 episodes in a year. That gives you probably the best bet is to do Photoshop and Illustrator the first year, InDesign the second year, with either After Effects or Premiere Pro in the second year as well. And then in year 3, it's one or the other. Then you're also getting the mega uploads at the end of each year released out. So you get 2 of those as bonuses. What else would happen there? You have all the live streams, obviously. So boom, that's your 100 pieces of content a year plus your shorts. So you'd have that. You could take the A to Z series, upload the Skillshare, and make extra money that way. So then there's that. Probably upload it to you. Now, I don't know if you could upload it to Udemy, but maybe you could. So you'd have that. So then there's multiple ways to make money from it that way. Multi-streaming would definitely help. You could upload to all the Facebook and make money. So that'd help. Then there's the templates, so you'd make money that way. The donations on the live streams, the memberships. Probably get client work as well. Selling templates and presets, like I said, that's customers, so you'd have that. Yeah, so that's why I think that'd work. So yeah, that's how I would do that one. We've got one more channel review that we're doing tonight, and that's for Lawrence. Thank you to Ryan for paying for that slot for Lawrence so we could get for him. He's been wanting one for a while. Yep. So yeah, so again, I think that's how I'd approach a tutorial channel that covers all those apps, and I can make it reasonable, and that's how I'd monetize it as well. So you get the content strategy there, you get the monetization strategy there. The upload cadence structure, the multi-format for the live streams and the videos. The shorts would have to be a standalone strategy that takes advantage. You wouldn't be able to repurpose off of these for what the format is. You'd have to do standalone shorts, but I would also do less of them in this case. You could also repurpose the live streams for this as a show and a podcast, and then you could also upload that to Spotify for creators. In fact, also you could upload the tutorial series to Spotify for creators, if I'm being honest as well, and it would probably do really well, and it would monetize fairly well on that. It would definitely get the watch time. That's for bloody sure. So I would probably do that, and then just set them up as two different shows, perhaps, and then double dip and make some money that way. So a lot of monetization opportunity if taken the way that I'm suggesting. A lot of monetization opportunity with that as well. So that's how I think of that one for sure. Yeah. Okay, we've got one last channel to review. It's a little bit of a variety channel, but we'll see what advice we can offer here. So this is Lawrence LG Glama. So I actually dig this profile pic. That's very cool, but I just don't think it needs to be repetitive of that in the banner. I also think maybe these topics need to be separate, but we'll see. 1,000 videos, 13K subs. It might be necessary for this to be separate. Let's see. Music section. I would definitely split off the music channel completely because there's actually a benefit to having an official music channel in YouTube, believe it or not. So I would actually split the music channel completely for the purposes of having an official music channel in YouTube and benefiting from also the distribution in the YouTube Music app specifically. So I would do that. Let's get a sense of the videos here. I would check to see on your end if any of the videos are hitting restricted mode. I want to see something. Restricted mode off. Let's see what happens with restricted mode on. Oh, crap. Yeah, a lot of your videos. Dude, a whole lot of your catalog disappears under restricted mode. You may want to try to appeal those, but it also means that some of the content is being affected there. You might want to appeal those individual videos. But yeah, it like literally took out like 8 months of your content instantly with that toggle, as you saw. So might need to do that since some of the content here is a little saucy because you're doing your strip club chronicles where you're talking about the vlogs and what it's like to be a DJ at a strip club. So you could do this content and you can do this content on YouTube. People talk about stuff like this on YouTube all the time. But what you could do, what's your most popular stuff here? This seems to be a music video or something from real club footage, but also it seems to be some music mixtape thing. Again, maybe the music stuff would benefit from being on its own channel because then maybe, and let me see if restricted mode is affecting any of these, if it'll let me. Let's go popular. Some is, some isn't. So interestingly, your video game stuff, so your video game stuff isn't getting hit by restricted mode. Almost everything related to the strip club stuff gets hit by restricted mode. I genuinely think you need to break up these channels so that they're not affected by each other. And also, I genuinely feel like these are literally 3 different audiences. And I think conflating them is negatively impacting the potential of each of them because the music stuff that ties to anything gaming, pop culture can win. And it could also win probably alongside all your music stuff could probably win under one channel. Even the stuff that was hit by restricted mode for music probably could still hit because it's shared by word of mouth. So maybe that all makes the most sense to live on one channel as far as the music stuff. And I don't know if it's that you'd convert this channel to the music channel and then the other stuff. So I don't know how the split would actually go. But I do feel that based on everything I'm seeing, especially with the restricted mode stuff, that you should have a dedicated channel that is basically even branded and dedicated to the Strip Club Chronicles. And then you do that. And maybe that channel even has the strip club mixtapes because it seems like those things go together. So maybe that all lives together on one channel. And then maybe the anime and gaming stuff all goes on its own channel. And then anything that's purely music, pop culture stuff, that's remixes, you could put that on its own channel. You could give that its own thing on DistroKid, do the mechanicals license on that, give up a little bit of the royalties, make bank on that, and distribute that across all the music platforms, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, all of that. Get music royalties by having an official YouTube music channel, make money off YouTube music as well. And then the gaming stuff probably should be its own channel. And then the Strip Club Chronicles, which could be the vlogs, the yapping videos, and some maybe cinematic videos about that, possibly some direct music about that. You could keep that because then you could keep the gaming channel family friendly and get sponsors if you separate it. If you separate it, the gaming channel gets to be family friendly, get sponsors, and be a generic gaming channel that could maybe have some kind of twist on it because you could probably do very well with that. Then the Strip Club Chronicles could be a vlog style reality TV thing and be a podcast and be an adult explicit podcast. And so you could win on Spotify for Creators with that and have a very popular video podcast on Spotify for Creators as well as on YouTube and have that and have it separate and win on word of mouth and all those things, even if there's some algorithm issues. Then the gaming isn't affected by that, nor is the ability to have sponsors on a family-friendly gaming channel. And then with your music, if you separate the music from the rest of it in terms of the music that's pop culture and franchise related, then you win on that on a YouTube music channel, not associated and hampered by the Strip Club Chronicles vlog and podcast thing. That's where I think the brand separation would benefit the most when it comes to that. And so I think that that's how you win here, if I'm being honest, is if the Strip Club Chronicles becomes its own podcast and cinematic vlogs, and you could have a dedicated like mixtape type thing that you do with music on that. It keeps you with the adult over 18 mature brand off of that stands on its own. Then you break that off, and then you have a family-friendly gaming channel that can scale in YouTube gaming, get sponsors, not be hit by that. And then the other thing you get to do is a music channel that you then also distribute through DistroKid. And then you make all the benefit of that with the streaming and the music if you are ready, and on Spotify on that end, and so on and so forth. So I would split these into the 3 different components without the overlap. And then that's how I think that you win with this and where the most value and benefit comes from. Because as it is, I think that there's some issues because of restricted mode and the over 18 content hampering the other stuff. And then I also think mixing and matching the audiences is more of a mistake, because if you do a wholesome gaming channel, then you're now for all ages and the sponsors can roll in. It's family friendly. Monetization will be good enough for what it is. And then on the adult channel, even though it's hampered in some ways, you'll get more donations. you get this, you get that, and there's other opportunities to monetize there, and different brands and different brand deals. So now there's not cross contamination there. And then on the music side, you get a purely music distribution play where your music isn't hampered by the more explicit stuff. So that would be my big suggestion and takeaway there. But what do you guys think? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the chats. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Chat if you're watching live, let me know. But that's how I would approach it. We got a super chat here on made by N4NT. Thank you for that. Are you suggesting I record one long video, then split it into shorts and post them as a linked playlist instead of one video with timestamps? If so, would example titles be? No, I'm not suggesting that for the short form. I'm suggesting for the short form that you make some standalone, shorter videos that are just very quick. Like, here's best 5 fonts to use for this. Here's best 5 Photoshop plugins for this, that sort of thing when it comes to YouTube Shorts. Yeah, for a lot of things, and it's not just everyone thinks that everything I do is an algorithm-based thing. No, even from a business standpoint, for brand protection and for lack of audience overlap and not cross-contaminating young audiences with adult audiences, it's a brand play and a monetization play even more than it's an algorithm play when I tell people to split off channels sometimes. Because, again, you saw this example, the variety, each component of this variety hampers the other's potential, because for gaming attracts young audiences, and you can't have young audiences and then also have the strip club chronicles. It's just not a good look. Yes, there are older gamers out there, but the majority of gamers are young, so that hurts you in distribution and it hampers it. And then there's the restricted mode, so that sucks for that. Music has this infinite scale, but again, hampered by this other thing. So boom, that's a problem. And the thing is, they have completely different sponsorship and business model opportunities if they were to stay separate. So that's why I want the separation, is because now they're siloed into their monetization and business models. You mean for the A to Z series? No, for the A to Z series, I would make them individual videos. And I don't think I would try to cut the A to Z series videos into shorts, honestly, because I think too much information would be lost. So I would just do those as standalone long form videos. So no, I wouldn't do long videos and split them into parts. I would just make them the long individual videos. A is a video, B is a video, C is a video, D is a video, so on and so forth. If you want an example of this, it's a super old example that unfortunately doesn't get views anymore. Go look up a guy named Stephen Looney, S-T-E-F-E-N, Stephen Looney, Looney spelled L-O-O-N-E-Y. So Stephen Looney used to do an A to Z series 15 years ago, but I think he only did Photoshop and Illustrator, and I'm not sure he finished the series. And so he ended up leaving graphic design. This was a very long time ago. He was a good friend of mine. And there was just a lot going on for him. So I know that a series like this can work, but it hasn't been seen in a generation, in like a decade plus. So the idea is up for grabs. And he wasn't even the first person to ever do it either. But I know it'll work. So if you go and you look at his example, that will help you here. And he didn't take it as far as I'm suggesting either. So yeah. But yeah, those are our 5 channels for tonight. Next time we'll probably try to do 8 or 10 when I'm not traveling. So we will try. And again, I think that we might be good for, I have to see what the dates are, because I might be traveling again the next Friday we do this. So we'll see how many we can do based on my travel schedule. But we'll try. We will try, my friends. So yeah. So we got that going on. Wednesday, we're going to try and do our 1 of 10 workshop Wednesday. So I'm just going to check my schedule and see what we can make happen there. So we got that going on. So stay tuned for that. Wondering if there's any other housekeeping we should do. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover tonight. I think that for doing this on a travel thing and getting to midnight, I think we did really well. We managed to get under 3 hours somehow, so that's also helpful. So that'll definitely help Doug, poor Doug, with the timestamps. So yeah, I think we covered a lot. I think we even got some good rants in there. I think there were some lessons learned. I got to hydrate. Still probably going to need a throat lozenge after this. Yep, absolutely. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. I would treat them as standalone videos. I'd make them individual videos. And like I said, you can even post the series to Skillshare and then make extra money. I don't think it'll work for Udemy based on their terms of service, but you could post to Skillshare, make extra money. You can make money on this on YouTube, obviously. I think it'd do really well. It gets you monetized for sure. And then I think off the back of it, there are other opportunities. So yeah. Most likely would also get you clients. Yep. But everybody, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Again, thank you to all of our wonderful super chatters, our channel reviews, the mods. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. So big round of applause. Yep. And so with that, I think it's time to call it a night. Yeah, I can still do some sound effects even when I don't have my Rodecaster with me. I do think what I'm going to end up doing is importing all of my soundboard into StreamYard so that when I travel, I still get the benefit of sound effects. Like, Doug, when I did the sound effects in StreamYard, did they still work? Like, are the StreamYard sound effects, when I do them, working? Like when I did the round of applause? Because I want to make sure, like, before I go through the trouble of putting them, into the soundboard in StreamYard as a media asset, that they actually work. So, okay, that's cool. So yeah, eventually I'll just put all my sound effects into StreamYard and Opus Clip, and then they'll be kind of in my cloud-based apps here. And so we'll have some continuity in that so that when I travel, I still technically have my same soundboard. So that will be nice to do as a backup. So yeah, good on you. Glad that they're working. So, okay, cool. So yeah, definitely appreciate all of you. Stay awesome. We will catch you on the next one. Like I said, probably do a live stream on Wednesday. It'll be a workshop Wednesday, and we will be showing you how to do topic research, title generation, and thumbnail design using 1of10.com and how to use its features properly. Big shout out to them for sponsoring, and definitely looking forward to that. A lot of people are. So I'm going to do a lot of prep for that stream, and hopefully everything goes off without a hitch. I'm even going to try to show you guys the proper way, I think, to approach the AI thumbnails thing and how we can do it. But I'm going to, practice some things with that I want to try out different techniques so that we can do them live together and know that they're going to work. And yeah, so we'll try that out. But anyway, I will catch you all next week. In the meantime, make sure you check out awesomecreatoracademy.com for everything we offer there. consider joining the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group or doing one-on-one coaching with me. If you've seen the value in these live streams, you've seen the value I offer, then definitely look for that. If you want to support and you can't afford to become part of the pro group, we also have a couple of affordable products for you that you could benefit from. So make sure you're checking those out. Links will be in the description, plus mods probably leave some of those in the chat. Again, stay awesome. We'll catch you next time.
Becoming a content creator can be a very lonely process and adventure, but it doesn't have to be. When I first got started going from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, I had to do it all by myself. I didn't have a community of like-minded and like-hearted creators to talk to or to ask for advice, and I certainly didn't have a mentor to guide me along the way. I built the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group because when I was getting started, what would have meant the world to me is not to have to struggle alone when it comes to being a full-time content creator. If I had had a community of creators that I could talk to and share information with, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes in my early career, and there would have been opportunities with brand deals where I would have gotten a better understanding of how to negotiate, and I wouldn't have undersold myself. I wouldn't have been taken advantage of in those early situations. So in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group, myself and our co-instructor Andy Rivera, we meet twice a week for office hours with our creators, and we share information, we talk about how we're building our creator businesses, and we offer constructive criticism and critique on the things that we're working on for our projects. You'll be part of a community of usually around 100 like-minded creators who are taking this seriously just like you are. You'll also have all access as a pro group member to all of our past, present, and future courses, training, templates, digital downloads, and swipe files. You have full access to our creator blueprints where you'll see our systems and the frameworks that we use to execute. You know, you always fall or rise to the standard of your systems. A lot of people really underestimate how important that is. We have digital download templates that can help you so you don't have to start with a blank canvas. These done for you files are actually incredibly helpful, especially for things like your thumbnails, your media kits, and anything you need for your branding as a content creator to look professional. We have email swipe files that help you with reaching out to brands. We have great information in helping you price yourself and build your packages appropriately. And remember, as part of the pro group, you have the opportunity to ask questions from myself and all the other creators participating. And so this means that if you need to ask questions about a negotiation or a brand deal, there's something you're not sure about, you're trying to find a better monetization opportunity with merch or affiliates, you have people who have done it before, who are already making money that you can reach out to for advice. As I said, when I was starting out and I was flying solo, this is the thing that I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a part of, and it would have made all the difference in the world in helping me be an even more successful content creator. If you have questions, you can always reach out via support. We're happy to help you figure out if the pro group is right for you. Also, we do have the opportunity for you to become a VIP member if you also would like quarterly one-on-one coaching with me directly. Now go out there and create something awesome today, and hopefully we'll see you in the pro group. Take care.